Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Malika coming to y'all with some new kind of brief information that I found floating around that adds to the Alexis Morales case. Is it really relevant to the case? No, but it's informative, so I decided to go ahead and bring it to y'all. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys what I found. Just give me a second, and we're gonna go ahead and do a brief discussion on it. Because, like I said, I don't think it's really relevant to the case, but it's information we can use. Okay, so Alexis' biological father, and you guys, in the last video when I said it that she was tagging her father, that was her stepdad, which is her mom's husband or soon to be ex-husband or ex-husband, but her stepdaddy nonetheless. And I don't really know the logistics of her mom's marriage with him as of today. But anyway, this Paul Morales is her biological dad, and he made a status, you guys, and pretty much calling out her mom. So I just kind of wanted to read that and speak to y'all about that. Okay, so he said, guess some people in their feelings because I said my daughter's mom didn't get a free pass because of her stupidity and the way she handled the situation made her just as responsible as the killer or killers and Elkhart County Sheriff's Department for the death of my daughter. Well, since people who friended me after the death of my daughter are playing both sides, I have something else you can run and tell that is funny. You can run and tell that it's funny how she has a 3K GoFundMe for Alexis' funeral, except for the fact that there isn't a funeral. We are getting her cremated, and it's $2,200. And the Morales family put in their 750. Steve, the husband, has his 750. Her GoFundMe has $1,975 in it, and her family hasn't contributed their 750. My son-in-law is controlling the cremation, and we are in touch with the funeral home. So how are you asking for 3,000 for a funeral that isn't happening? And why haven't your family put in a portion of it? Put in their portion of it. And why are you conning people out there hard-earned money for a fraudulent GoFundMe? Now you have something to talk about in your group conspiracy stories. Mom of Alexis Morales has a GoFundMe claiming to be for a funeral that isn't going to happen, and they haven't contributed to her cremation, and she's not next to kin. Steve is, so can't even touch the body or get it released to her with a laughing emoji. Now, I want to speak on this. I want to speak on this real quick, you guys, because this is a problem. This is a problem for me. And I don't even really know where to start. Okay, but I'm gonna start with the last part of what he said. Now, run and tell that. Run and tell this right here to the conspiracy groups. Um, go ahead and share this information. Make this go around. And he even had a title for y'all to use. Mom of Alexis Morel has a GoFundMe claiming to be for her funeral, and kind of like joked about it, laughed about it at the end, like it was funny, like they playing tag you with, like it's a game, and this is serious, and I understand that families go through family feuds, you know, during the funeral time. It's like you either join together, come together, or the family gets damaged and fall apart and people get hurt. And I understand that. Okay. But as I said before in a Alexis Morales Facebook group, we living in a time where whatever happens in a family stays in a family. Is just like exempt. Nobody care about that anymore. Nobody care about that no more. Everything is for social media. And so for me, he kind of went a little bit hard on Alexis' mom. And I say that because she's grieving just as well as you are. Maybe in her own way, maybe in your own way. People grieve differently, but at the same time, this is her daughter who lived with her every day, who stayed with her every day. And me, myself, personally, I don't have to hear updates about how she feels. This is her daughter still. This is somebody that she birthed. So I don't need to read statuses to know how she feels. Okay. And I don't really, for me, have to really question her GoFundMe. If she decides to do a GoFundMe, only she know what her situation is. Only she knows. Only she know why she's not quick to give that money to them. It could be various reasons. It's always three sides to a story, y'all. He told his side, she haven't told her side, and it's the truth, which could be a combination of both. Okay, but we only hearing one side of the story. And now so many people are just quick to crucify the mom and even call her a murderer behind this post right here. But when you think about it, the dad slightly did kind of compare her to the actual killer. You just as bad as the actual killer. That's some deep stuff to say. That I'm really no better than a person that murdered my child. Or I'm no better than the cops that's possibly covering it up or whatever. That's crazy to actually say. And I don't think that those statements should have been made public, especially if you don't feel that she's a suspect to Alexis' murder, because once people see this and they share it to those what you call so-called quote unquote conspiracy groups, and it gets shared and spread it around with this same title that you put out there, people is going to start suspecting her and looking at her. And it's going to really take away from the real research and the real evidence, as to what happened to her. And it's also tugging at people's hearts, something else that we don't need. And if you feel as if she's actually a suspect or just as bad or whatever the case may be, take that to the police or take that to the family. I don't think that was made for the public. Especially if your cause was to, ruin her mom and shame her publicly. Think about your daughter. I don't think that Alexis would have liked that. I don't think she would agree with that. I don't know how close the dad was, the biological father was. I didn't really speak on him in my last live because I felt like he spoke out a lot. I felt like the mom had spoke out before. I felt like Jada spoke out before. So I really was just kind of, even Steve spoke out before, but I really was just kind of mainly led to those two. And then I was done with it. And I'm still, I stand behind what I said in my last video. Okay, but like I told you guys, if any new information that come along, I will report on it. But the most thing that stood out to me wasn't the fact that family business got aired and the fact that dad dragging mom through the mud and wanted this to go viral, okay, to humiliate her. It wasn't that. It was the fact that they decided to get her cremated. And I asked myself, why? And I've seen a lot of people say, why is Steve getting her? I'm sure Steve is not making no moves without the whole family making, coming into an agreement and deciding on how they're going to put her away. So, but I'm wondering, why did they decide to cremate? I'm wondering, was she that badly bruised where she can't have an open casket? Will she still have an open casket and be cremated later? Because he really didn't say exactly what, but he did say that there won't be a funeral. So he said there won't be an actual funeral. So I'm believing that they just decided to go with the cremation and not really a celebration. They may do a memorial, they even with cremations, you can still have a memorial service and have the cremation the urn there and people come in and pay their respects. But at the same time, that even costs. Right? So I'm not understanding exactly what dad, and plans are, and I'm also thinking like maybe mom could be saying, well, hey, y'all do y'all thing. If that's what y'all want to do, okay, we have to cremate her because we don't have enough to actually go through a real funeral, ban a casket, all of this stuff. So yeah, I'm in agreement with y'all as far as the cremation, but maybe I'm gonna hold on to my portion of the money because I actually want to have some type of memorial service for her, for my side of the family, because it don't seem like the two sides of the families mix and agree. So it seems to me, in order to kind of keep tensions down and in order to be able to celebrate my daughter without any conflict with both sides of the family, it seems to me that mom plan might be to just do her own separate thing. And that is the reason why she haven't contribute her portion. And even though the 750 is to actually for the cremation, she could be saying, nah, y'all do y'all thing. Or I mean, I'm just saying, you guys, we don't know because um the other part of the story haven't been told. We only got one side, right? So the other side have yet to be told. Or mom could be saying she don't agree with the decision of her being cremated, right? But it's nothing I can really say because Steve have the final say. And Steve could be going along with the dead. And it could be because that is the one he know. That is the one he know. That is the one he hadn't met the mom. That is the one he's comfortable with. That's probably the one he's been talking to. And notice, um, Dad even called Steve his son-in-law. Seems to me that have gotten a little close throughout the years. Who knows? But I just want to say, like, it's really sad that she have to get cremated. I don't know if I'm wondering if this is something that that the family just decided because of financial reasons, or if it have to be done this way because she cannot have a closed casket, which makes me think that you know, she was really in a bad shape. She was really in bad shape, and they decided on not having a closed casket, not doing a funeral service, and cremating her. So I just wanted to get that news out there to you guys. All of this right here is just mess. It's just mess. It's messy. And I really don't even feel like it's really none of our business. But what we should take away from this is the plan to actually have Alexis cremated, and ask ourselves why. We don't have no information right now how she was actually found. So I think that there's more of what we should really take, away from this. Like, wow, she must either been, in pretty bad shape, or maybe they just can't afford it. And I don't even want to think that they couldn't even afford a funeral. Because I've seen people who didn't have GoFundMe's and just raised maybe donations, did fish fries and stuff like that, and still came up with enough money to actually have a funeral. Okay. And we all know that Steve got money. More, I mean, he had more money that he could have put in $750. Okay. Now, maybe their side of the family didn't really have as much to give, but at the same time, from my understanding, everybody had GoFundMe's up and was collecting money and donations. I'm pretty sure other family members was donating. So then you have mom's family, and I'm pretty sure they had GoFundMe's up and they was collecting money. So if everybody had put their money together, and even with possibly Thad on board, but everybody put their money together, and actually, I believe they could have had a nice going away service, homegoing service for her. So that's what made me believe that Alexis was probably found in pretty bad shape. Um, And even so, rightfully so, maybe mom said, okay, we could still have a closed casket, but I'm really not in agreement with cremating her. And that could have started the family conflict. Who knows? I'm just giving an example. Um, but who actually knows? Because families have drama a lot of times during burying their loved ones. They just don't want to let go. It's hard to let go. It's hard to face some facts. Then you start bringing up the past and digging up the past, and you was never this, you was never that. So yeah, but I still think it should remain within a family and not really brought to social media. That's my point. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that, and I know a lot of you guys find it odd that Dad is so close to Steve and he's calling him his son-in-law and things like that. And a lot of you feel like, Steve could have possibly still murdered her, and how, and now Steve is trying to cremate her and get rid of the body and all this stuff. And, I think if all of that was true, he could be stopped. He could be stopped. And I'm not meaning stop, because I know legally he has every right. He has all the rights. I get that. But I'm talking about like family standing out, speaking out against him and making him tuck his tail and even run if he had to, because they can come together so hard against him. Like, look, this man is deliberately, he killed my daughter, is what I believe. And he deliberately is trying to cremate my child to have the evidence. He's trying to take his a baby that he know that's not his. Like, they could be speaking up out and against this, but nobody is. But y'all. But y'all. Okay. And if you ask me, when you look at it, that is the one that's really outcast. But you gotta ask yourself, why is that? And even with the GoFundMe that he raising to bring his son back, is did any of that GoFundMe that he was raising, was he planning on giving any of that to the family to help bury his son's mother? He said nothing about help burying his son's mother. He said nothing about, because I think that should be a focus too, especially being the fact that even if you raise the money to get the DNA test done, they still not going to release your child to you until you are no longer a suspect, or until this case is closed. So really, to me, the money that you should be trying to raise is to help the family bury Alexis. And if she didn't have to have a closed casket, y'all could have definitely all put y'all money together and donations together and sent her away beautifully. But the fact they decided to cremate her, I don't think that was all Steve's decision. I think that was the family's decision. It's possible that mom did not agree with that, and that's the reason why she didn't chip in. I'm just saying, y'all, it's possible. However, however, this young lady will be cremated. This young lady will not be around to raise her son. At the end of the day, her life was taken from her. And although I still say what I say and I lean towards what I lean towards, everybody attached to this young lady and her case, I believe, have failed her in some kind of way, shape, or form. There, I said it. Have a good day.